Hey guys, Rinji here, once again bringing you the worst out of the VTuber community. And said VTuber community always finds a way to make me surprised how low they can go with some of their opinions about certain people and some of their behaviors. Like, whenever I feel there's like a bottom to all of this, they just continue to dig deeper and just reveal what kind of people they are. Today's story is one such story where certain individuals decide to kick someone when they're down because they don't like them for very vague or very nonsensical reasons, which we're going to be exploring. So without further ado, this is the story how very popular VTuber called Fallenshadow, also known as Shondo to her fans, got suspended on Twitch, her main platform of streaming. You may be asking yourself, oh, how did Shondo get banned? Don't a lot of people get banned on Twitch all the time, and these bans don't really last that long? Well, the original message that Shondo has received, as you can see here, states that she got banned for 30 days because of suicidal tendencies, and you will be wondering, how did this happen? Like, what actually occurred during that stream? Well, Shondo got a little bit too drunk on stream, which is already kind of iffy by Twitch's rules and standards. And she had a little bit of a sad moment where she fell down and she said a few things that may be construed as suicidal on her part. So, in case also some of you don't know, another thing, Shondo relies quite heavily on her Twitch, on her streaming income to support herself and her family. So a ban of 30 days where your subscriptions, the subscriptions of your fans can just expire without being renewed, can be quite the hit. And again, especially if this is your main income, if this is your source of revenue. I'd say expand to other platforms, but you know, other platforms aren't really all that much better. And instead of getting better, they just keep on getting worse. But yeah, this is what happened to Shondo essentially. But some people decided to make it not only about themselves, not only about Shondo's fans, but also misconstrue why Shondo got banned in the first place. Here's that person that I'm talking about, called Bint. Some of you may know them from being one of the biggest and most vocal Niji-sanji supporters. And Niji sister, one would call this person as well. And they have a habit, they have a penchant of always defending Niji-sanji, no matter how vile, no matter how rule-breaking, no matter how seemingly low-breaking their decisions may be. No matter what they do, Bint is there to defend Niji-sanji's actions at any cost. Bint also has a habit of going after people they don't like and completely misconstruing what they stand for and what they do. They do it all the time with false ID. False ID being Bint's main obsession for many months now. Only a few days pass in between where Bint doesn't mention false ID. And sometimes they also decide to do the following. To show people what kind of miscreant they are by completely lying about why Shondo would actually get banned on Twitch. And they say this. What could Shondo have possibly done to deserve to be banned? And they show the following screenshots of Shondo having a stream a year ago, by the way. Over a year ago. Where she plays Civilization 6. On my best behavior in 4 hours. Early start today to make the good timeline. No politics, just Civ mod about the guy that likes art a lot. We also banned from war. We shall be good. Kuzo? Can we save the world? So essentially what Shondo does here, she's role-playing good Hitler. By, you know, making fun of Hitler, because, you know, a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people in general have the opinion that Hitler was any kind of good guy. You'd have to be an actual neo-Nazi to think that. But yeah, this is what Shonda essentially did. She role-played in Civilization 6 as good Hitler. She said this: "Happy birthday to the guy that killed Hitler. Let's us produce the good timeline in 4 hours. Continued my odd good Hitler modded Civilization playthrough. Nothing suspicious here, just having weird fun. Truly will fix all problems with art and friendship. So, and more. I did a Civ stream where I roleplayed good Hitler." It's a subtitle clip when she says what she actually did during that stream. And here's Bint making the assumption that Shondo either actually said this during this said stream, or is making the comparison that role-playing good Hitler for funsies, essentially making fun of Hitler, is equivalent of saying KI was on Twitch continuously and then getting banned for it. This is incredible that people can make these sorts of comparisons and think they make sense, any kind of logical sense. But Bint didn't end at that. It just got worse, because it always does. Because, you know, at one point, when you make such very, very bad faith arguments and you just lie about what they got banned for in the first place, people are going to start calling you out on it. So this is how it started. I mean, I'm usually on your side of things. But this was last year, LMAO. Shondo, from what I've seen, which granted has been constant viewing, has been on better behavior. But has she been sorry or even 1% wary of the fact that people will bombard you with slurs if you say a bad thing about her? Well, let me tell you something like that, Bint. When you lie about someone to the point where you call them a bad person and you compare them to neo-Nazis or worse, people are gonna be calling you mean things online. It's because they call you slurs and they're being very mean about it. Doesn't instantly negate their arguments about you. They're angry at you, and a lot of them are calling you out on it. But instead that, you will continue to double down, as we're gonna see later. I can't speak much on that side. I'm going strictly by her on stream behavior, which apparently still teeters into unhinged when she's drunk. This is literally Family Guy level humor. Imagine being this sensitive. I must have missed the 3-hour cutaway gag about Hitler. There have been entire episodes revolving around Hitler and Nazis. Are they 3 hours of jokes about Hitler being a cool guy? Good Hitler implies Hitler is actually a bad guy. R word. LOL only took 3 replies of obfuscating before you went actually like Hitler. So you're mentally ill and brain dead. Again, this is the spokesperson for Niji Sisters. They like Bint a lot. This is the person they gas up constantly. Follows retweets of this person. Everything's in good faith and everything's as it should be with Bint. I understand your point, however, counterpoint. There are so many anti-fans trying to put Shondo down, you being one of them. Are you okay? Who hurt you, bruv? No, I simply don't think it's a good idea to make jokes about liking Hitler or to foster an audience that cheers for that. But this was last year. They apologized and became a better person, right? I don't think she did, and her audience is still extremely right-wing and bombarding people with slurs. Extremely right-wing. Now you're just making us up. Took 5 seconds to find your retweeting a MAGA lawyer who does pickup artist content on the side. And this is, again, another one of these things that Bint likes to do. Blame people by association with the people that Bint considers to be bad actors. It's not never, almost never addressing the actual argument. It's always this weird deflection to another person. Oh, you talk back to me? Oh, you like this guy, and I think this guy is bad, therefore you're a bad too. And if someone's right wing, oh, of course you're equivalent to Hitler, because why the hell not? But then continued. N-word, you are so R-worded, it's unreal. Can you people not say slurs for like 5 seconds? Also, Bay would hate you. Well, Mint would hate you. And I can safely say this, which is something I addressed before in the past. If you're any kind of VTuber fan, there's a unspoken thing, unspoken part of etiquette when it comes to social media avatars. But you don't put your Oshi, don't put your favorite VTubers as your avatars and then act R-worded. You just don't do that. Because if you get popular enough, like Bint here, or infamous enough, I would have to say, your actions are gonna be reflecting badly on said VTuber. Even though said VTuber just hasn't done anything and is not in any way, shape, or form related to you, but they will be associated with you either way. And people have called Bint on that as well. But Bint, being the fake fan that they are, just doesn't care. Just gonna sport that Mint avatar. And weirdly enough, Bint, sorry, has never blamed Mint for any associations, even though Mint is clearly friends with the people that Bint would consider to be neo-Nazis by all counts. Make it make sense to me. It's just an outrage farmer, that's what it is. Let's continue. Ma'am, Mint is going to have a second collab with Face Connect. As I was saying, Mint is friends with some Face Connect talents. And that's what it is. But what does Mint think about that? You care more about this than I ever could. Which is funny. From someone that constantly blames people by association. Apparently Mint is exempt from that for whatever reason. I wonder why. Is it to keep out the facade of actually being a Mint fan? Who could know? Hey, they/them. It was last year. You people make it very apparent that you're the kinds of folks who continue to find Hitler jokes absolutely hilarious. No, it's called they didn't have a problem with it then. Now all of a sudden it's an issue, it's a long since past? That's extremely stupid. Retroactively banning people doesn't happen on Twitch, period. And if it does get rid of that half-naked woman, it's not a porn site. I'm sorry that you think it's a moral necessity to weep for someone who makes Hitler jokes and has shown zero signs of being sorry about it. Oh, whole sub-genre of comedy goes out the window in 2024 because apparently making fun of Hitler by portraying him as the good guy because he's not the good guy. Seriously, some of them should actually watch that stream and see what kind of opinions and what kind of comments Shondo made about them. About Hitler. Because I have you know, they're mostly sarcastic and none of them could ever be taken as serious endorsement for what the man did and what his country did during that turbulent period in history. You'd have to be in extremely bad faith, as Bint is, or you have to be extremely stupid to think otherwise. And Bint is not the only person thinking that. You'll soon see what I mean. Let's continue. February 23 was the thing she did, and not exactly ancient history. 2023. It's September 2024, dude. What she did do to get banned at this year on this month? 2023 was a million years ago, and she clearly has been repenting for her sins since then. My bad. The amount of stuff that people do on Twitch, especially some of the popular ones. I'm not even going to be mentioning people like, you know, the titty streamers or whatever, because they get banned like almost every single day, which is essentially a slap on the wrist. And then they go back to doing the same thing. They're just completely poo-pooing the rules, and Twitch just, enforcing them sporadically, or to show people that, yeah, guys, we have these rules, and yeah, don't you see? This particular bikini streamer, they got banned because they showed too much skin, and they're just generally being too lewd in front of all of these minors. So yeah, we're gonna ban them for like a few hours. Is that good enough for you, concerned people? It's just that, we're so concerned about the safety of people watching those streams and about enforcing these rules. So we have to make a demonstration. Oh yeah, instead, ban a mentally unsound person 30 days for essentially being mentally unstable and being in a bad mental spot. That is certainly safeguarding someone's mental health, isn't it? Let's move on. Why are shown the fans like this? This was inevitable. Twitch is a feminist institution, so there's nothing they feel more threatened by than a lolly. It makes them undoubtedly feel old and ugly. Hopefully she moves to somewhere less puritanical and psychotic. Her existence in itself was what was rule breaking. Well, while she didn't get banned for being a lolly, and I can't agree with a lot of points this guy made, which is a place that there's a lot of there's a lot of psychosis there, but puritanical it's not. It just protects the people that make them the most money, and that's a very easy thing to understand. But yeah, here you have a demonstration how just Ben decides to blame Shondo's fans for Shondo's actions. Everything by association. Everything's Shondo's fault. Cool, now post his ad and how many likes he's gotten. If he said that on the server, he'd get bonked. Not posting ad of a stranger when my point is about behavior, not about going after a random person. If you're a mod who actually wishes to deal with this behavior, you can see it for yourself. I can tell you privately. It's about behavior. People in the chat and on a server, moderated places, aren't like that. You shouldn't judge anything by their Twitter fans. Bint has never done that and will continue to do this. I've been called slurs by fans of several different VTubers. Well, don't be a slur. Shondo fans take the cake as far as aggression and frequency. You know, when you poke a hive, you should expect to be stung. Especially if you try to take a flamethrower to it as well. If you're a fan, you don't have to defend or obfuscate that. You can just say, yeah, that sucks. I always just chalk that up to the lolly equivalent of grifters. Like the guys who only care about Blue Archive to gatekeep post-racist shit. And not the passion. It does suck, but it's funny seeing her laugh at clip watchers' voice chat messages calling her breathable. LOL, I mean, that's also the thing that sucks about the Blue Archive fandom. I've been all sorts of things with unsavory fandoms. Niji Sanji being one of the major ones, which you contribute to as well. And unfortunately, in the case of a lot of them, I can be wishful thinking to believe that the awful people aren't truly into it. Especially with VTubers, LOL. Crappy people who have been around the culture long enough will generally put on appearances. Yeah, like appearances of fans of certain VTubers you don't care about. If they're in the VTubers chat, but will drop all that energy as soon as they're out. Such a shame how many baddies there are. All we can do is be good ourselves. Based on the icons this person has in their profile, I'd assume they're a Shondo fan. Don't waste your time talking to Bint. Bint, again, does never do anything in good faith. And all of this discussion is pointless. Just don't give this attention. And treat it as the R-worded person that they are. Let's move on. How very unlike you to cherry-pick the singular example from a random idiot and use it to be a manipulative prick. unbelievable that anyone takes anything you ever say seriously. I hope you know your Oshi despises your innocent behavior. But you ever one of these replies is proving I don't need to cherry pick a single thing. You're just like that. Why are you so concerned and hopeful that another girl loses their job and potentially dies? Why don't you just say, I am a hate watcher. I hope they lose everything. At least be honest here. Even your hyperbole has hyperbole. Jesus Christ. Why can't this person ever address any sort of freaking argument? Shondo fans be like, it was an entire year and a half ago that she made countless jokes about liking Hitler, so you can't criticize it, but also those streams were good and based, you slur, 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 slur. Slur you didn't even know existed. Well, dictionary is right there. I don't care if she's permabanned or not. I'm not losing sleep over her content or where she streams or one way or another. But come on, lol. It doesn't give me a lot of faith about how you act when your audience speedruns every category of slur. The people who criticize you should really take the punches. You will never have a successful banting career with anyone online unless you wade through the waves of slurs. Tough guy came into my mentions with this and then immediately blocked me, LMFAO. Think the word redacted is a slur is actually redacted, which is the word R-worded. Just because you're a sensitive pussy doesn't mean something is a slur. Stop being such a pussy. Have to agree with that one at least. And then, Bent being bent didn't have enough. Because at one point, actually, after a lot of outrage happened over Fallenshadow's ban and a lot of support was carried over her way, Shondo luckily got it unbanned after 1 day and 16 hours and 5 minutes. But, Bint, being very unhappy about this, decided to poke the bear just a little bit more. Big day for the guys who argue about age of consent, essentially calling Shondo fans child predators, because, that's not inflammatory in no way whatsoever. And the following replies came. The implication that a streamer can be banned for speaking about their past mental health struggles is not a good thing, and her getting her channel back is the best scenario. Just because you hate the woman doesn't mean her ban wouldn't have set an awful precedent. Imagine expressing the fact you struggle with depression and your job fires you while claiming it's for your own good. Sure, she would have been fine. What about the smaller and less popular streamers who are just trying to express their struggles? What was one of them? Which is again a very good point someone is making here. If this happened to a smaller streamer, as this person said, chances are Twitch would just not even lift a finger to help. But with Shondo's unban message that she received on in her email, it clearly shows that only the outrage made Twitch actually do anything. So if anyone else lands themselves in such situation, they'll most likely not have the pull to get unbanned. And if they're a smaller streamer that still relies on this sort of thing for income, that's all the worse. Let's continue. Because Bint replied with this. It's actually more like getting suspended for a single day, well, after you didn't face consequences for multiple HR complaints about bigoted comments, and then having your friends harass management into lifting it. You don't need to hyperbole about hate and people being fired. That's, again, such a disingenuous argument. As if, people had problems with that particular stream where Shondo essentially made fun of Hitler. As if, there was a wave of outrage and complaints about that. Yes, they were from people that are just nonsensical like this. People that think making fun of evil people is somehow a bad thing. But everything's allowed in the VTuber community, while nothing is allowed in the VTuber community for whatever reason. Let's continue. I just think Bad, nonsensical rulings which aren't applied evenly at all should be celebrated or treated as okay because they're against people you don't like. In a world where rulings were applied fairly, it would have been happened sooner. She takes joy in pushing boundaries. Yes, making Hitler jokes is such a boundary breaking pushing of comedy. It's so edgy. Nobody in the history of comedy has made such jokes as Shondo has. Insane way of thinking in modern times. Saying low-key hateful stuff and enabling high-key hateful stuff, hateful fans. She would have been incredibly successful doing that. I could say that objectively, even if I liked her. Not saying that because I wish for her to be deplatformed. Yeah. But let's not forget that one comment where you said that you don't really care if she's banned or not. Yeah. You don't really wish for that. No. Being insipid legend. Saying that because I shouldn't be surprised or offensive that she got in trouble eventually. Even if you think she got in trouble for wasn't what she had actually done wrong. Jesus freaking Christ. This person needs a punt. Seriously. And as I was saying before, Bint is never satisfied by just blaming one target. It also has to be blamed by association. And now, just for the sin of supporting Fallenshadow with, you know, a Twitch ban, Bint decided to go after Bao as well. So why the hell not? Just have to shit on everybody while you're at it. Books could have been written about how big indie VTubers have enabled right-wing weirdos to flourish. Yes, Shondo, the exemplification of right-wing VTubers. Sure. People like her would be definitely silent for a VTuber being punished for supporting Palestine. I guarantee it. We're gonna see how these watermelon Palestine supporters act very shortly too, dear audience. Don't forget that these people show up everywhere nowadays. The bastions of morality and sympathy for people acting really vile. Let's continue. Pretending to have rules and backbone is hilariously ironic statement from the big indie. The VTuber industry rewards being spineless more than a lot of industries. The only time these people stand up for anything is to protect themselves because there's an acceptable target. You mean just like you're doing? You're trying to make Shondo into an acceptable target? To misconstrue her character completely? Am I getting this wrong or am I getting this wrong? Absolutely terrible behavior. Before anyone comes in like, but she's friends with insert VTuber I like I said, the East industry of words not standing up for things, but I'm not a VTuber and I'm allowed to express feelings about people whose actions I don't like. Yes, everyone except Mint. Goddamn. Mint would never get into any sort of drama. She's very averse, almost allergic to drama. I can even tell that with the way she behaves on her other alt accounts. But if Mint would ever call out Bint, well, that would be the end of times for Bint. I don't know how Bint would recover from that. The shame inflicted with such an action. I don't know how Bint would be able to spin that one. But then again, throughout the months, Bint has spun so many stories about so many people. I bet they could possibly at least attempt that. Let's move on. What the context? I don't really watch her and just keep seeing them from memes and clips. Never really know what they actually like. She's defending Shondo, who's a huge right-wing edgelord who makes Hitler jokes, transphobic comments. Nope. And has one of the most aggressively bigoted communities in the street industries. Ha 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 ha. Well, no wonder she got banned. Funny as Shondo does but play stupid games with win stupid prizes. I don't know much about Bao, but considering Twitch's resident streamers are those against those stuff, it isn't surprising if Shonda is in that predicament. Dude, you don't even watch Shonda from the way you're speaking about her. Bao hasn't personally done anything seriously objectionable. Some jokes here and there were icky, but nothing severe. Like a lot of indie VTubers at the top, she doesn't have particularly strong or coherent principles towards real-world issues. It's not fine not to understand difficult social things, but sometimes real-world issues pop up, and time again, these people are at the top handle them very badly. Yeah, like making fun of Hitler is so so off the cuff. It's so without any sort of precedent that Shondo is breaking new grounds for how vile you can be, I guess. Yeah, reasonable folk talked with Maeve. Dude. A little bit self-awareness, please. Most VTubers or content creators aren't good with issues anyway, considering a good amount of people see their community as more of an escape and respite from reality. Because the thing we can do is right. Do right is be self-aware. I think you should start with yourself, my guy, before you say that to anybody else. Let's move on. She's got a point, though. No, she doesn't. Shonda would have gotten in trouble a lot sooner if they actually enforced rules on the platform properly, not the other way around. I don't know if there's, any rules for making Hitler jokes. I think you're just, again, spinning this completely out of proportion. Let's move on. Because Bint wasn't the only person that decided to be vile to Shondo. Actual other VTubers decided to put in their 5 cents and say the following. Prey on her downfall every fucking day. Isn't that the VTuber who threw a fit about wanting to play Hogwarts Legacy and gets off doing edgy and funny, hateful things? Hitler's second strongest soldiers being unbanned. This is so sad. These people have their brains so up their own asses they misconstrue what one person did with what another person did. Just don't care. Cool and all, but she was banned for drunkenly venting about her mental health, and if you think that's wrong and bannable, you should check yourself on how you treat others. I agree that's not the good reason to ban people, but she's not a good person, bro. She didn't deserve such a platform in the first place. A ban is deserved. Let's see what this person thinks is a bannable opinion or a bannable action, and why Shonda apparently doesn't deserve a platform according to them. But before, here's that other, I think that's a fauna stan. Looks like it to me. The reasoning for her ban wasn't deserved. Sure, I'll admit the reasoning given was BS. However, she never deserved the platform to begin with if she was so irresponsible as to spread hatred and maliciousness all for clout. Where has she ever done that? You people are insane. There should be some kind of mental health checks for social media, because this is getting a little bit out of hand in recent years. And he's that Lumiriva person showcasing a GIF being disappointed that Shondo got unbanned. Don't really know much about them. I'm sure their props have their reason for staying on Twitch, but man, I was treated like shit this much by Twitch. I just leave at that point. Being constantly targeted and banned like that must really effing suck. And here's Lumi again saying the following. No, she deserves to be banned. She jokingly played as good Hitler on Civilization and is a lolicon. Oh my. These two things are so bad that you deserve to lose your livelihood. I swear if some of you people were ever empowered, this whole fucking world would turn into some kind of hellscape. Moving on. Don't feel bad for her. She was a lolicon anyway. Insane. Breaking news, VTuber who wears Hitler stash is forgiven by everyone because checks notes she got banned for crying on Twitch. Call me a Shadia hater, but as a Jew deserved. Mods can discriminate against her for whining if she discriminates against us. Who did she ever discriminate against you? She made fun of a genocidal maniac from World War II. Do you seriously think making fun of Hitler is the same thing as condoning the Holocaust? You have no marbles. Your marbles have been lost to time at this point. Have lost them so much ago. Jesus Christ. At Nick Jew, by the way, not religious, but a Holocaust descendant nonetheless. So yeah, ick! Anyway, if being public face to get followers means I have to be fine and vibe with people who find the torment my grandpa went through eating rats and watching his parents decay to be funny, I don't need a shallow publicity, I need to be seen as a human. First, you should really think about what you said and about what Shondo said, and if any of what you said here actually applies to Shondo. Because what you're saying is just completely insane. Be a hater, cause that shit is wild. Why can't people be normal and not weird AF? A ban was deserved. 100% agrees. It's so normalized now. Now to just openly not care if an entire group of people is wiped off the earth. Bro, making fun of Hitler by pretending to be good Hitler because if you put 2 and 2 together, Hitler was a bad person, and creating a facsimile of him as a good Hitler is making fun of Hitler. It's not the same as saying the Jews deserved it. Come on. Way too normalized. It's awful. People joke about Hitler and the Holocaust far too much as if those events still don't affect people to this day. They think because it happened so long ago, it's a free game. But they won't joke about Gaza and the stuff happening there. It ain't funny. Dear viewer, what is the chance that you'll go into any of these people's profiles and find 9/11 jokes? I encourage you to look, at least try to look. Because if you do, all of their arguments just completely fall apart. If any of you weirdos have ever laughed at something related to a tragedy, not even at the tragedy itself, because actually, vile people laugh at a tragedy and think, someone dying horrifically is funny because of a terrorist attack or whatever kind of terrible situation happening. But just, go take a look. See where this leads you. I'd really like to see if those people's hands are clean. Let's move on. Guess a bitch crying is still the best way to manipulate dumbass crowds. Anyway, every neo-Nazi reference everywhere will always be not tolerable. In my opinion, I'm from the big bad atheist family. What does that have to do with anything? Do you think atheists are equivalent to neo-Nazis or some shit? What do they feed these people? What do they breathe in? Because it's certainly not air. It's some kind of weird laughing gas. Fucks with their perception of reality. Finally, I hate this weirdo so much. Why? What did she ever do to you or to anyone else? And this one again. Apple person. For your information, I have tons of moods with her, but how dare I be so frail over an event that absolutely did impact my life and my family, and still impacts how people treat me. Forgiveness and all that. Triple rolls I am as emoji. Forgiveness is overprescribed. Real. Already blocked that person ahead of time. Based. What the fuck am I looking at? Triple crying emoji. How are the Nazis in this community? It's a shame considering her platform is massive too. People love her. Absolutely vile. Agreed 100%. Yeah. People like Shonda because she's a poster child for neo-Nazis. Reality check in order. All the time. Every second of the day you should make one. Okay, I love me some absurdist towing the line on offensive humor, but knowing that the internet, how these kinds of tubas can be. How about no? It was a recipe for disaster, and I bet I drew above the absolute dredges of fortune. Ah. Oh no, someone didn't make a joke about the English or the French, or said someone is a stinky, or said someone is getting breedable and laid. Ooh, that's the kind of offensive humor I adore. But making fun of Hitler, ooh, that's you got a little bit close to the sun there. You're just gonna fall down. Those wings of humor are gonna melt off, and you're just gonna plummet into the sea of outrage. Holy shit. And then, no politics, but tries to put positive sides of the character on the next stream. Bro. Where and how? And lastly, what the fudgesicle? No politics, my foot. She's straight up legit being a Hitlerite. And there's my favorite, of course, Palestine watermelon profile. What the actual fuck is wrong with this girl? Like, shouldn't it be common knowledge not to fucking do this? Yes. Whenever it comes up, by no means ever make fun of Hitler. That's absolutely verboten in this VTuber community. Sorry, not community, Gemeinschaft. Because it's surely gonna turn into the Fourth Reich at this point. With these people in charge. And with these opinions being the dominant ones. Insane situations with insane people. But what is new, once again, in the VTuber Gemeinschaft? But that's all for now. And I hope to see you on the next one. Hopefully with more Hitler jokes.